Here, head trader at True Trading Group. It's April 23rd. Big day for me today, trading oil stocks. Today was a really weird day. All, and I mean all, of the top gainers today were oil and gas penny stocks. Literally, the entire top gainers list. Here's your list of top gainers: OAS, AXS, WLL, UNT, HPR, CRC, KLXC, FET, LPI, DNR, LAL. Okay, all of these stocks are all LON, all of them oil and gas stocks. Every single one of these stocks is in the oil and gas industry. Okay, from LONE all the way up to OAS, every single one in the oil and gas industry. Okay. And every single one of them are, they're really not good stocks, guys. I mean, these stocks are 20 cents, 30 cents, 70 cents for a reason. Um, these are not the Chevron and Exxon Mobil's of the world. These are stocks that you probably had a lot of people get very excited about today. Oil bounced back. These stocks have been decimated. These stocks bounced back very, very hard. Um, it started yesterday with WLL. I caught a real nice trade in WLL yesterday, and I caught another nice trade in WLL today. But what I will preface you guys before we talk about anything else is, please trade these stocks. Do not fall in love with them. Half of the companies that are on this list are going to file for bankruptcy. Half of them may not be around a few months from now. I think you're going to see major consolidation in the oil and gas industry with a lot of these small companies not being able to survive. So if you're getting excited because you see some of these stocks, oh my God, this stock's up 120% today, and you're gonna think you're gonna dump a huge chunk of money into those as a long-term investment, please beware. These are very, very risky long-term investments on companies that will struggle tremendously with oil as cheap as it is, and it's probably going to stay cheap for quite some time. Not as cheap as it is right now. The price will bounce back, but it'll still stay relatively cheap, where these companies will have a very difficult time generating cash flow and servicing their debt. So just be conscious of that. So I will preface this by saying trade these, don't fall in love with them. Let's get to WLL, guys. Huge win for me today on this WLL, but well, not as huge win, a big win, but it could have been a huge win had I stayed in this thing longer. This is now 2 days in a row that I've traded WLL, made really good money, but could have made a boatload. I left a ton of money on the table yesterday. If we go back to yesterday, if you guys saw my trade yesterday, okay, I got long WLL in here and I was flat there. Okay, you can see I left some on the table because later in the day we ended up going a lot higher. Okay, so I left a lot of money on the table yesterday. Still made good money yesterday, but I left a lot on the table. Same thing here today. I got long right there and I got flat right there. And as you can see, I left a ton on the table. So today's like kind of a bittersweet day for me. I'll never complain with making money, guys. I still made really good money on the trade. I'm never going to be overly upset with not making more. That's just greed. Keep in mind, and I want you to continuously remind yourself this specific thing to help you deal with this when it happens to you and to stop you from getting upset. Your job as a trader is not to catch a stock's entire move. Your job is not to buy WLL at $1.20 and sell it at $2.30. That's not your job. Your job is to identify high probability patterns with good risk reward, execute good trades, stick to your game plan, manage your risk, and good P&L will be a byproduct of that. You are not supposed to buy the low and sell the exact high. You're not supposed to catch a stock's entire move. And the second you try to catch a stock's entire move is when you start to fail to take profits and you see winning trades turn into losing trades. So don't let greed overcome you. For a stock to go to make the move that WLL did in the last 2 days, that's an outlier. That's not the typical price action you see in stocks. So you can't go about trading specifically saying, I'm going to buy this stock at 50 cents. I'm going to sell it at 230 in 2 days. That's not the normal course of action in a stocks trading. So just keep that in mind. Try to put things into perspective for you. Now let's talk about the trade today in WLL. A lot of lessons to learn from this. Picture perfect trade line view up crossover pattern. a really good example of strong support versus weak support, and what really got my attention on WLL and what made me pull the trigger on it. So let's zoom this in. Pre-market, WLL had support at 115. Pre-market, it had support at 115. So I actually said to people in chat, I go, guys, I'm looking for 115 to be support. Not because just because it was holding very, very well pre-market. So as we see here on WLL, right off the bell, we pull in and look at what we do. We tail right there at $1.15. But when I draw up my Fibonacci retracement levels, you will also notice that the 50 Fibonacci level lines up dead smack even to the penny at 115. Notice the price action when the stock got to 115. Do you see how quickly the stock bounced off of 115 and went all the way back to 130? This is a sign of aggressive buying pressure. When you are looking at a support level, if you're saying, let's say, okay, I think 115 is going to be support, I'm waiting for the stock to show me that support. When a stock gets to a support level, you want to see it come down, touch it, and get off of it very quickly. That is a sign of aggressive buying. Support levels hold multiple ways. You can have a support level hold because it's strong support, meaning there's aggressive buying at that level. But then you can also have a support level hold because there's not aggressive buying, but rather the selling pressure has just slowed down at the level. That's when you get a stock will come down to a level and it just sits on it and it sits on it and it sits on it and eventually breaks through. So I like to see strong support levels, that there's aggressive buying at those levels. So the stock will come down, and then as soon as it reaches that zone, all the buyers jump on top of each other, and that pops the stock price back up very, very quickly. That is exactly what we saw happen on WLL. Okay. So once I saw that, I go, okay, bang, there's the proof I needed. There's that support. There's that buying zone that we were talking about pre-market, and it also lines up with the 50 Fibonacci level. Now I've got the trade line working its way up here as well. The trade line lines up at the low of the day. I said, now I can go ahead and I can get long. And I got long right there at $1.23. I'll take you guys to my trade announcements. I'm going to find out a better way to present this to you guys. Like I said, we have a new chat platform, and I just download all of my trades from that platform, and it comes out like in this ugly font. I'm going to figure out a better way to show you guys this stuff, but these are all my trades being downloaded from the platform. And you guys can see here at 9:47 a.m., long WLL at $1.23, stop loss where? 115, which is exactly where that low of the day and exactly where that support level sits. Okay, then you can see here comes the trade line, acts as an area of support, and this is a picture perfect trade line VWAP crossover, guys. Here it is. There's your trade line, crosses over VWAP right there, and just pushes this stock up through the high of the day. My first take profit, as always, right in front of the high of the day, right there. Back to my alerts. Took some off at 140. We then extend through 140, new highs of the day. Okay. And 50% of my position then comes off the table right here. We are take more profit at 150. Okay. And then we extend even higher from there. And there's my final take profit at 161. Here we are, final take profit 161 at 10:20 a.m. Okay. So here's the entry, first take profit, second take profit, final take profit. And that is a really solid trade. In at $1.23, final take profit at $1.61. Very nice trade. Happy with the P&L, but then this thing just continued to rock. I think where I could have traded this better, if I'm just being completely critical of myself, where I think I could have traded this better, is I just didn't have faith in a lot of these stocks because they're not good stocks. With everything going on in oil, it's up and it's down. There's chaos all over the place. I just didn't have faith that they were going to give me all of this tremendous follow through. And WLL was already up so much from even the day before that I just didn't think it. It's like I just I didn't believe in them, even though the chart was telling me that it was going much higher. And I think I should have just listened to the chart instead of just having this bias that these are not good companies, they're not good stocks. And because the chart was telling me that it was going higher. And if you guys, what I want you to notice is when I readjust the Fibonacci retracement level up to that new high, you notice that now the initial morning high lines up dead even with what? The 23.6 Fibonacci level. And look what else is there, the trade line. So remember, the trade line was the whole premise of this trade, right? There was your trade line VWAP crossover. Okay. Now the trade line is once again right here, lining up with the 23.6 fib and the initial morning high. There's your new support level. And that was a beautiful re-entry point, or where I could have added to the position or gotten back into the position. And then you can see the trade line continued to act as support and then just push this thing through those highs. And then the rest is history. Went all the way up to $2.40 for a monstrosity of a move on WLL. So again, fantastic trade today, guys. I could have made a lot more. I left a lot of money on the table, but I'm never going to be overly upset with not making more money. I still made a good chunk of change. I did my job, executed a good trade, and I'm happy with the P&L. Okay. Also, another trade I made today were some SPY put options. This has to do with Gilead. Okay. Right here in the middle of the day, a news headline broke that remdesivir, which is the drug that the market celebrated on this day when there was positive news headlines out about the remdesivir drug, it caused this big gap up in the overall markets. Okay, so the market celebrated positive news on remdesivir. Then we had negative news on remdesivir that caused this big drop in the SPY. Now, the report that came out was very misleading and was not complete. So I have my own issues with the report that came out. I have my own thoughts on that because the title of the headline was that the drug flopped, and that's misleading because it's not that the drug failed its trial. The trial was terminated early because they couldn't get enough patients to participate in the trial. So they were not able to meet any endpoint data. They terminated the trial early, which means it's not a complete study. It's not a complete trial. So you know, how much can you really take from those from that report? Because it initially made it seem like, when you read the headline, it made it seem like the drug trial had failed, which is a lot different than the drug trial was terminated early because they couldn't find enough patients in China to participate in the study. Now, Gilead themselves are due to release some data within the next week that I think will be a lot more of a telling sign. So I have my own issues with the report itself. But nonetheless, the move that the market made when this news crossed the wire told me that the market is relying way too heavily on Gilead and this remdesivir drug. When Gilead has, or any biotech has news, positive or negative, about one of their drugs, it's not supposed to move the market 4 points in a matter of minutes or 9 points in like a half hour like it did a week ago. That tells me that the market is a little overzealous and relying too heavily on this drug to get the economy back open and get things moving forward. I thought that this shakeout on this news headline was enough to make people take a step back and be like, you know what? The market's way too sensitive to this, which means how strong really is the footing right now in the market? Like, what if remdesivir data is bad? What is that going to mean then? What's the foundation of the market sitting at 280 on the SPY? And I feel like that would start to make people realize maybe I'm being a little overzealous. Let's take some profit. That was my thought process going into the afternoon. And then once we got rejected here at VWAP and then rolled this all the way back down, I said, okay, I'm getting puts. So on this little bounce back right there, I went ahead and I bought SPY put options. Take you guys to my alerts. I bought tomorrow's expiration right here. We're at 1:38 p.m. I bought the 280 strike, tomorrow's expiration put option at $2.13. Stop loss at the SPY got over VWAP. Okay. And then we just drift our way down towards the low of the day. And I want to take some profit off in front of the low, not only because it's the low of the day, but this is also a key area that was previously a nasty area of resistance for us as we look all the way back. I'm saying this is a support level for the SPY. It might get choppy down here. I want to take some profits off the table. So right in front of the low of the day, I took 25% of my position off the table at $2.13. $2.83. You can see right here, it took some off at $2.83. Then this happens. Okay. We ended up double bottoming at that low and bouncing all the way back. And I had to deal with this bounce back right back to where? VWAP, which was my stop loss. But you can see we got rejected at VWAP. So that kept me in the trade and we rolled it back down. And even though we rolled back down, unfortunately, this sucked out some time value on those contracts. So they were all the way down at like $1.65, $1.70 after this bounce back. So when we pulled this all the way back down, contracts went back to like 250. I said, you know what? It's getting real choppy down here. There was a lot of confusion about the Gilead news. I'm like, let me reduce my position here so I can hold some overnight. And I took 50% of my position off the table at $2.49. Okay. And now I'm still holding 25% of the position. And here we are trading slightly lower after hours at 278.33. My final target on this trade is going to be around 275.50. Okay. 275.50 puts us back at this resistance, which was previously that support, which was previously all of this support. Okay. We might encounter some support here at 277, which is the yesterday's low. We might encounter some support there. So we have to see where this opens tomorrow. But I'm expecting tomorrow for us to get a little bit more of some selling pressure that takes the SPY down towards that 275 to 276 area. And that will be my final take profit on these put options. And that would give me a pretty much a home run trade. Okay. So we'll see what happens there tomorrow. We're sitting here at lows of the day, an hour and 20 minutes after the close. Okay. So that's it, guys. Great stuff today. A big day here trading those oil stocks. Remember, trade them. Don't fall in love with them. A lot of them are very, very risky long-term investments. And we'll see what happens here with the SPY. I hope you guys enjoyed my analysis there of that Gilead news. If you have not done so already, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. Make sure you guys don't miss out on any more of these videos. And real quick, before I forget, the 30% discount is ending soon. You guys have 1 week left to get the 30% discount on the 1-year all-inclusive membership to TTG. That includes all of the courses, okay? All the courses that I wrote these courses myself, guys. It's the same material that I learned when I worked at a hedge fund in New York City. That's where I got my training. That's where I was trained. That's where I got my education. I've taken that same information, I've simplified it, and that's what is the courses that are available on the TTG website. There's beginner courses, advanced courses, option courses, trader psychology courses. You guys get access to all of it included for free with your membership at a 30% discount. Enter the coupon code TTGBM2020. You have 1 week left before we go back up to our regular price. Click on the link in the description below to enter that coupon code, and I will see you guys in chat later.